Taiwan's Central Cross Island Highway, joining east and west. The construction of the Central Cross Island Highway began in July 1956. The fragile land made it impossible for digging machines to be used, meaning that most of the work was done with hand tools like shovels. During construction, an average of 5,000 to 6,000 people were working on the project each day, many of whom were military veterans. However, workers from other groups were used as well, such as job training teams, students, and even criminals. The considerably difficult work was made even more dangerous by several earthquakes in 1957 and two powerful typhoons in 1959. The highway was finally complete and opened to the public in 1960. In all, over 200 workers died during the 4 years of construction. Even before the highway was completed, plans for Eternal Spring Shrine were in place. It was built out of respect for the highway workers' sacrifice. It is one of Taiwan's main memorials for veterans and a major site at Taroko Gorge. Eternal Spring Shrine has been rebuilt several times after being damaged by landslides. The most recent shrine was built over 3 decades ago in 1989. Below the shrine, a beautiful waterfall streams out of the mountain and never stops running. It represents the eternal memory of the workers who died during the construction.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the show. I'm Tiffany.
I'm Chickling.
Yeah, and then we were talking all about how to get to East Coast to West Coast, because before it was really difficult. Like you would probably have to even maybe, I would say, if you want to visit so many places, you might have to even drive all the way around Taiwan to get from, let's say, Taichung to Hualien or something, or the other way around. But luckily, you know, there's this really great highway that connects north and south, east to west of Taiwan, so we can visit even more places in Taiwan. Okay, but today we're going to learn a bit more about how they built this, because it is really difficult to build a highway through mountains, right? I can't imagine the people who built it.
Yeah, it's like so crazy, right?
What they went through. Oh my gosh, so dangerous as well. So shall we take a look and learn a bit more?
Can't wait.
Yeah, let's see. The article says the construction of the Central Cross Island Highway began in July 1956. Ooh, wow, that's quite a long time ago. I know, we weren't even born yet. A construction means the process of building or making a building, a bridge, or a home.
OK， 所以这个我们今天要看建造这个字哦 ，construction 这就是建造艺术，是有什么，比如说东西在施工中，我们可以说什么东西是 under construction， 这个常常听到嘛。所以这条公路中横公路是什么时候开工的呢？动工就是1956年的7月开始建造。
Wow, such a long time ago. Okay, well, the article then says the fragile land made it impossible for digging machines to be used, meaning that most of the work was done with hand tools like shovels. Wow. Exactly. People had this thing. That's so hard because, you know, machines were invented to help make work easier. And I guess like by that time, it would be common to use machines, but they couldn't even do that because it was so fragile. Now let's first know what fragile means, because maybe people are like, huh? Why? Fragile is an adjective and it means something that is easily broken or damaged. So it can be things like glass. You shouldn't just throw glass to another person or be rough when touching things like that, because it can break easily into like a lot of different pieces. Okay, so that's what fragile means, something that is easily broken. I have another fun saying for you guys. You can also use a fragile heart or a heart of glass. It means that someone's feelings get hurt easily.
Is it 玻璃心?
Yeah. I don't have that, I think.
Me either.
I think maybe
I don't
sometimes.
think Aries don't really have it.
Yeah, so a little bit, but then usually we're like, Don't mess with us.
Just forget about it.
Don't mess with us. Okay, how can we use fragile in a sentence? We can say a lot of paintings are put behind glass because they're very fragile and could get damaged easily.
所以这个字呢 fragile 是脆弱的，好像有些英国人是念 fragile, right? I've heard that before.
Yes.
好，我们可以说，比如说椅子太脆，应该是说椅子太脆弱了，我们可以这样讲 The chair collapsed because it was too fragile to bear her weight. I'm sorry, it's not your fault. It's just the chair. 然后名词呢，我们可以说 fragility.
Okay, hopefully it's not her
I know,
weight.
right? It's so sad.
All right, so the people who had to build the tunnel or make the highway, they couldn't even use machines. Instead, they had to use shovels. Shovel here is a noun, and it's a tool that is used to dig up things in the ground or dirt. And it kind of looks like a very long, pointy spoon. For example, we can say, my mom and I used some shovels to plant some new flowers in the garden.
所以 shovel 这个字就是铲子的意思，所以我们常常当动词的时候可以说去狼吞虎咽吃东西 to shovel something into someone's mouth。比如说 Randall was shoveling food into his mouth， 可能是太饿了。那因为这个地方土地脆弱的关系，就没有办法使用挖土机，所以其实中横公路大部分的工作都是用铲子、手动工具完成的。那这些人力气一定很大 ，They must have been so strong, and all the workers.
Or they have like a very good back or something.
真的
I can't even imagine doing all that by hand and doing all the dirt and rock like that. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay, so next in the article, it says, during construction, an average of 5,000 to 6,000 people were working on the project each day, many of whom were military veterans. Okay. Oh, okay. That's a lot of people. Now, let's first take a look at some words one by one, because I know there's some of the words in here that's kind of like, huh? When you work on something, this phrase means to spend time repairing or improving something. Like you can work on your English, okay, means improving your English, or you can work on your speech or work on my speech at school. You can even work on a dance routine, okay? We can even say Kevin spent hours practicing and working on his speech. Okay, so if you're a person who is afraid to talk in person or to a group of people, that's what you might want to try to do. Now, we saw the word veteran, okay, a military veteran. Veteran is a person who served in the military and are now not in service anymore.
所以 work on something 就是去从事什么事情，或者是你努力的去把这件事情做好。那么呢，我们这边看到这些 worker 其实有很多是 veteran， 它就是荣民或者是退伍军人的意思。那我们再看一下 work on 可以怎么使用，比如说 having a secretary frees her up to work on her other things， 代表她有一个秘书，自己就有很多时间可以去做自己的事。所以在这个中横公路的施工期间，大致上平均每天会有5000到6000人去参与这个项目，那大部分都是退伍军人。不过在这边也看到今天的文法，我们赶快来看一下。好，我们又到今天 Language in Focus 的时间。我们今天的句型要讲的是 which 跟 whom 是非限定用法的关系代名词，用来代指呢位于逗点之前作为先行词的名词片语。那么关系代名词本身就兼具连接词跟代名词的功能，所以跟前面的主要子句之间就不需要加上 and 来连接。若不使用关系代名词的话呢，那我们就直接写成连接词 and 加上一般的受格代名词。先来看一下课本的句子 During construction，在这个施工期间 an average of 5,000 to 6,000 people were working on the project each day, many of whom were military veterans. 所以这边看到的 whom 就是 many of whom 就是这些人里面有哪一些是嘛，所以因为先行词是5000到6000人是人，所以关代就要 whom 这一个字。那么如果先行词不是人物的话怎么办？不是人的话怎么办呢？我们就可以使用其他的用法，比如说 The football supporters began throwing missiles, one of which hit the referee， 或者是说呢 The football supporters began throwing missiles and one of them hit the referee.
All right, let's continue reading the article. It says, however, workers from other groups were used as well, such as job training teams, students, and even criminals. Okay, I think that's actually really good because, okay, the word criminal means it's a noun. It's a person who committed a crime. Maybe they stole something or they killed someone. Oh my God. But basically, someone who breaks the law is a criminal. So yeah, we can use it in a sentence like this. Luckily, the police caught the criminals who stole all of the jewelry from that store.
所以 criminal 这边是罪犯，名词哦，当名词。那当形容词也可以，就是涉及罪犯的意思或犯罪的。比如说犯罪的行为，criminal activity 或 behavior act 这些字都蛮常见的。比如说 criminal behavior seems to be the norm in this neighborhood.
Wow, so dangerous. Okay, so they didn't just use a lot of military veterans, a lot of different people were helping as well. And I think actually it's good to use maybe criminals because at least, they can make a contribution back to society, or even sometimes like I think they get kind of judged like, oh, you did something bad. And then people kind of reject them and don't give them work. But you should maybe let them try it again and let them try to rehabilitate back into society. So actually, I think that's a great plan. Anyways, let's continue reading. It says, the considerably difficult work was made even more dangerous by several earthquakes in 1957 and 2 powerful typhoons in 1959. Gosh, okay, yes. Taiwan is a earthquake and typhoon city here. When something, we use the word considerably here. Considerably is an adverb and it means a lot or much. For example, we can say, these math questions are considerably difficult for a first grader.
OK, 我们来看一下 considerably 这个字是相当的，所以它的形容词是 considerable， 代表大量非常可观。但大家真的要小心，不要跟 considerate 搞混。considerate 是一个人很贴心哦。好，我们先讲一下可观怎么使用。比如说 there is considerable uncertainty about the company's future， 代表哇有很大的不确定性，这间公司以后的未来不知道会怎么样。所以1957年的其实有蛮多次地震，那跟1959年的2次强台都让这个工作变得更加危险。本来就困难，然后又有自然灾害，就 Oh my gosh.
I know, even worse. Okay, it says here the highway was finally complete and open to the public in 1960. In all, over 200 workers died during the 4 years of construction, okay? Here we can use in all. This phrase means a total of or all together. So instead of always saying, a total of, a sum of, you can use in all.
所以 in all 就是总共。所以高速公路最终在1960年就完工，就向公众开放嘛，大家就可以去。不过比较难过的是，在4年的建设过程中，总共有200多名的工人死亡。It's really sad.
Yeah.
但是真的是很谢谢 Thank them for their service.
Definitely. So unfortunately, yes, people did die while building this highway, but like we have to thank them for actually helping us complete it and making kind of everything easier for everyone. Okay, next the article says, even before the highway was completed, plans for eternal spring shine were in place. Okay, because yes, maybe they knew that this was a very dangerous task. So they thought that, okay, no matter what, we will still build this shrine and build it maybe along the highway or somewhere, plan it within it. Here we use the phrase in place. When something is in place, it means something that is already being worked on or established. So they were already thinking of doing this anyway, basically.
所以 in place 就是有安排好啦，或者是已经制定好的感觉。所以这个高速公路其实在建成之前，长春祠的规划就已经到位，早就规划了。
Next, it says it was built out of respect for the highway workers' sacrifice. Okay, yes, I definitely think that was very, very, good of them to do that because they really did sacrifice a lot. Okay, first, let's look at the phrase out of something. Out of something here means to show the reason why someone does something or the reason why maybe something was built. For example, we can say Peter spends the weekend teaching children basketball out of his love for the sport, okay? He teaches kids basketball because he loves the sport. This is the reason why he does it. Now, we also saw the word sacrifice. Sacrifice means to give up something in order to succeed or to have something else. So maybe like when it's time for you to apply for colleges or maybe when it's time for you to study for a test, the finals are coming. You might need to sacrifice some playtime or free time in order to work on your applications and essays or to study or something. So that's how we can use the word sacrifice.
那么这边的 out of something 就是出于什么，出自于什么哦。那这边有另外一个名词是 sacrifice， 就是牺牲的意思。所以我们常英文可能会说 out of curiosity，out of interest， 这些都是常见的。比如说出自于好奇心好了 ，out of curiosity she pulled down the handle of the fire alarm.
Oh my gosh.
I did that when I was so little.
That's when you're a child, right?
真的，所以其实为什么长春词要来建造，其实就是出自于对这些牺牲公路工人牺牲的尊重去建造它的。
Yeah, I'm sure your parents must have been like, stop, don't do that. All the sacrifices we made for you, and you pulled the fire alarm.
Right.
I'm just kidding. Asian parents.
真的
Asian parents are always like that. Okay, let's continue reading. It says, it is one of Taiwan's main memorials for veterans and a major site at Tarka Gorge. We see the word memorial here. It's a noun and it means an object, often large, made out of stone that has been built in order to honor a famous person or maybe an event. There is a memorial of Chiang Kai-shek at Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall, and he's sitting in the chair. That's what a memorial is. For example, we can use it in a sentence like this. This memorial was built to honor the millions of people that died during the war.
所以 memorial 这个字是先是在那边当名词，是纪念物、纪念碑的意思。常常战争就会看到纪念碑，战争纪念碑英文就是 a war memorial。那 memorial 这个字当形容词也可以当去纪念什么的，比如说 a memorial service will be held at 7 p.m. on Saturday。所以其实呢，唐春祠它也是台湾主要的退伍军人的纪念馆之一哦。那其实它也是太鲁阁峡谷那边的主要景点。
Very nice of them. Here it says, Eternal Spring Shrine has been rebuilt several times after being damaged by landslides. Okay, yes, it's very common for Tarka Gorge to have that. A landslide is when a large piece of earth or rock, they fall down the mountain or cliff and it can damage homes and damage a lot of things.
所以呢 landslide 这边是山崩，所以这个长春祠呢，因为山崩受损之后，就有多次都有重建。
Next it says, the most recent shrine was built over 3 decades ago in 1989. Now, a decade is a noun and it means a period of 10 years. So it would be like, for example, 1910 to 1919, that's a decade. Or 2000 to 2009 or 2010, that's also a decade. For example, we can use it in a sentence like this. Queen Elizabeth II reigned for over 7 decades and is the longest reigning monarch out of any of the British monarchs.
所以呢 decade 这边是10年或10年的时间，所以其实比如说我们过去10年来有很多重大的改变嘛 Great changes have taken place in the last decade. 所以最近的神社建于呢30多年前，它是在1989年的时候建造的。
Next in the article says, below the shrine, a beautiful waterfall streams out of the mountain and never stops running. It represents the eternal memory of the workers who died during the construction. Oh, that's beautiful.
真的，这样听就觉得很美哦。这个神社下方呢，有一条美丽的瀑布，从山中流淌而下，永不停息，代表呢对于建设过程中死去工人的永恒悼念。
Very, very nice. So actually, I've never seen this before in Tarka Gorge. So I think I would love to go there and maybe pay my respects and to see this beautiful waterfall and memorial. All right, well, that's the end of the article, and that means it's time for our For You Chat.
Yay.
Okay, what is our For You Chat question for today?
Our For You Chat question for today is, what are some other ways people and countries remember veterans?
Okay, well, I know this is quite different from country to country. So like in the US, we have a day called Memorial Day. And it's usually observed on the last Monday in May. I know sometimes there are a lot of like military parades and maybe ceremonies to honor all the veterans who've died while they were on military duty. And I think there's also a Veterans Day. It's also like Veterans Day in the US, and that happens on November 11th. For the UK, it's called Remembrance Day. Wow, a lot of history info for you here. And for that month, you'll see, for the UK, you'll see a lot of people wearing like a poppy, which is like a type of flower. And they use poppies to decorate the place, and it's a way to remember what happened. Do you know why it's on November the 11th?
No.
Okay, well, it's on November the 11th because it's to remember the First World War and how everyone agreed to stop fighting on the 11th hour, on the 11th day of the 11th month.
That's so meaningful.
Yeah, so that's why they have Veterans Day there too. So
wow, Tiffany, you're such a history freak.
I am a history nerd. I'm sorry.
I admire you so much. Like, I have no idea.
Yeah, I love it. So I kind of remember these things. And then, yeah, I don't know about Taiwan though.
Me either. I don't know much. But, well, I think it's a good thing because we have to thank them and respect them for their service.
Exactly. All right. Well, you guys can also discuss this amongst yourselves. Do you know how do we honor veterans in Taiwan? If you do, share with your friends, share with your classmates, and you can also share with us so we know. But that's all the time that we have for today. So we'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Vocabulary Review.
Fragile. When you clean this table, please be careful not to break the fragile vase. Shovel. Bill used his tiny toy shovel to dig a hole in the beach sand. Criminal. You must get a background check to prove you're not a criminal before you can do this job. Considerably. It was considerably warmer outside after the clouds in the sky went away. Memorial. Many towns in England have memorials to the people from there who have died in wars. Decade. Our company has grown so much in the last decade. I hope it grows as much in the next 10 years.
智慧小补帖
Construction. Veteran. Sacrifice. Landslide.